All right. Hello, everyone. I am Marshall Sparkman, and today we're diving into one of my favorite loans on the streets right now. It's a one-time close construction loan, and I'm not alone. I have the incredible honor of collaborating with the lady who my boss calls the queen of construction loans, Miss Leslie Ziemba, who is a plethora of experience and knowledge. So today you're getting two for one.
Absolutely. Well, I don't know about the queen of anything, but I've certainly been through a lot of these loans. And I have her firsthand experience how they can really be a game changer for our clients and especially our veterans.
Yeah, they absolutely are. So, what we wanted to do is we want to answer the questions that we answer every day with our clients. Usually it takes a 30 minute to an hour conversation, and we wanted to answer all your questions, as many as we can, upfront between this video and the frequently asked questions document that we're constantly working on, right, to make sure that we're hitting you guys with everything that you need to know up front to go into this successfully. So, Leslie, I'm ready if you are.
Yeah, let's do it. So the first thing that we recommend is really watching this video in its entirety and reading the FAQs. That'll help you really understand this program, and that certainly is key. After getting a better understanding of what is required, when you're ready to take the next step, at that point, you'll schedule a call with one of us, or you can go online and fill out the application to get pre-approved. And it's really critical to get a pre-approval before moving forward, because we want to make sure that before you offer on land or spend money with the builder, that you know exactly where you stand financially before you take any steps forward.
Yes, yeah. And once you're pre-approved and you're comfortable with all the financing portion of the project, then you'll be able to start your selecting your floor plans and that kind of stuff. And I always recommend you want to talk to us first and get the pre-approval, just because what if your floor plans come up to $1 million and you're only qualified for $300,000, right? So this is kind of the first step. We're gonna do a soft inquiry on your credit report, usually going into it, just to kind of get some ballpark numbers together and make sure that you're going to be able to get the deal financed. From there, then you'll be able to work on your home plans. We'll help you select a reputable builder who's insured that can get all the numbers together for us. And while the builder is getting the cost estimate together, we're also running the builder through an approval process, because the builder has to be approved through us as a lender as well, right?
Yeah, and that process is really simple to get a builder signed up with us. So our team will vet the builders to make sure that they're reputable and that they're capable of completing the project on time and staying within budget, because that's going to save you money. So they're responsible for completing all the paperwork and getting approved with our team. And once you hammer out the construction budget with the builder, you'll need to get a contract or a quote in writing from them. So that way we can then calculate the loan for you. And, it's more important to have a fixed cost and have a clear understanding from the beginning of what you're getting from the builder. Once we have more firm numbers from the builder, we'll work together to give you a better idea of your budget for the land. And if you already have a piece of land in mind, that can help us even more.
Leslie, budget is one thing that I have seen create nightmare of construction loan deals, where people don't really, the builder may say, oh, well, you can do this or you can do this. And you're like, yeah, I want this. And you don't realize they're not keeping track of the budget. And next thing you know, the budget has gone astronomical. How often do you recommend people justify their budget, go over it with the builder?
That really depends on the builder. Some builders are very quick at getting everything in writing and getting a contract or a quote for you. Some builders take a little bit more time. We automatically build in a 2% contingency fund. And what that is for is, let's say your build is 500,000 and we're going to build in an extra $10,000 buffer in there. If you don't use it, you don't ever pay for it, but we're going to build that into the budget just in case anything does go over. The builder can then tap into that contingency fund with the client's approval, of course. But getting together with the builder, making sure that you're staying on budget frequently as you're picking out all of your fixtures is super important.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's a good tip. Make sure you're connecting with your builder on a regular, but I say maybe not weekly, but every other week. Just make sure you're checking in, and the numbers are on track where you want them to be. And so the more you know the numbers and the more you understand the numbers, the smoother everything is going to flow for you. You want to make sure everything is crystal clear from start to finish. And that's the one area where I see deals getting off track or getting sideways real quick, is when the budget gets out of control, because Once we close on this construction loan, it's it. You can't come back to me and say, oh, Marshall, we hit rock and we need another $50,000 to complete the project. It doesn't work that way.
Right. So, and a lot of people will ask, as far as like the builder requirements, or if we have a list of builders. We do have a pre-approved list of builders that we've already gone through the vetting process with. But if you have a builder that you're interested in and they are not on our list, just let us know and we'll work with that builder to also get them on the list.
Yes, I'm often asked, can I do the construction work myself? And a lot of people are handy, especially if you're wanting to build a house. And the answer, unfortunately, is no for this loan. It's not the loan product for that. I know here in the great state of Tennessee, they allow you to build your own house without having to have a contractor's license. But when you're getting a loan and you're borrowing from a bank or a lending institution, they're going to want to make sure they're only going to release the draws to a licensed contractor. So unfortunately, you're not going to be allowed to do any of the work on your own. If you do, at least make sure, we're not hearing about it, right?
Well, that's so important when, people are like, well, I want to be able to save money, to do some of the work myself. But here's the thing. When we're working on your construction loan, we're typically working on either a 6, 9, or 12-month build time frame. And that time frame, we've got your interest rate locked in, and we've got the amount of money budgeted specifically for a VA one-time close. We have to have all of the interest built into the loan. So we have to know that number on the front end. If it's going to take somebody 2 years to build their home, every single time you're going through each month, you're just accruing more and more interest. And we can't add to the loan after we close. A one-time close, the great thing is you close at the very beginning. You qualify at the very beginning. But we've got to get all of those numbers honed in and get them perfect. So, doing your own construction, it's just not, this isn't the right product for that. But, again, it can save you a lot of money in the long run because the builder is going to get it done in that specific time frame. So once you have your plans and your specs in place, you have a lot picked out, you've signed your contract, then we can move forward with the loan. And this is the point where we really begin working together more. Up until that point, everything's kind of been like this hypothetical situation. So once you have everything under contract, then we really begin working on that loan process.
Yes, yeah, that's right. So if you already own the land, it's a little bit easier. We can skip over the land purchase part, and usually it cuts out real estate agents and a lot of additional complications there. But then we can go right into the construction part. It's important to know if you are buying the land during the process, you got to make sure that everything is in place before we close. Like I just got a call this morning. A guy, the realtor called me and they're wanting to do a one-time close. And he said, well, can I go ahead and write a contract on the land? It's like, wait a minute. This loan doesn't really work that way. A lot of times the seller is going to expect you to close in a 30, 45-day period, where this one-time close construction loan, it could take you 30, 45 days to get your plans together. It could take another 30, 45 days to get your septic permit. There's multiple variables and that can take a little bit of time to close. So I always tell people, if you don't have your lot picked out, that makes things a little easier because you're not going to get emotional about having to close on time. You're not going to have the pressure of a real estate agent breathing down your neck or a seller's putting pressure on you to have to close within a certain time frame. Because the reality is, from the time we first start having our first conversations or you're watching this video, I would say on average for me, it's usually about a year before they're sticking shovel in the ground. What would you say, Leslie, in your from the first conversation till they start?
Yeah, I mean, that is, again, there's so many things that go into that, and that can be so subjective. But if you've got a builder who's going to take about 3 months to get you a contract, to get your plans and everything worked out, once we have that, it's going to take us for VA typically 45, I would say 45 to 60 days. And this is after you've got your perk test, your septic test, you've got your survey, and we have all those contracts, the contract and all of the documents from the builder. So most of the time, if somebody has the land and they've already gotten everything from the builder, again, we can close in less than 60 days. But if they're going to be looking for land, they're going to be working with a builder, again, depending on the time frame of the builder, we could be easily looking at 6 months. So, I mean, sometimes, yeah, a year if it's, a lot of planning and a lot of like looking for the right piece of land. But typically under 6 months, 4 to 5 is kind of to be expected. And when you're making an offer on land, if you've got a realtor and they're making an offer on land, or if you're a realtor watching this video and you're going out with a client to help them find a piece of land, it is super, super, super important to understand that you're going to need to probably get at least 90 days to close on that land. We've got to close on everything together. And you've got to get the perk test done if it's raw land and you're going to need a septic system. You might need a well, an estimate for a well. Those things get added onto the loan. So it's important to get the builder all of their docs, and that can take weeks or sometimes months. So again, if you're offering on land, super important to at least ask for 90 days.
Yeah, and this has never happened for me, but let's say hypothetically someone comes to you, Leslie, and they've already got plans and specs in place. They got a contract with the builder. They've already got the piece of land. They're ready to go, ready to order an appraisal. How long would you say the closing process usually
I
takes?
just I just had one for VA, and we were able to close it in about 35 days.
Yeah, so
And
that's
yeah, that's if somebody's on their game. They're getting me all the documents that they need to, and they're super efficient, and the builder is efficient in getting docs back. But we can generally close it in about 30 days.
Yeah, so that's about how long the normal process takes once you've got all your ducks in a row. So that's plans, specs, contracts, everything's in place. We really don't begin our process until you have all that in place. And then we start. And the first thing we have to do is order an appraisal. And the appraiser needs all that information. So that's why we're kind of on hold until then. But once we order the appraisal, I get the question a lot, Leslie. Somebody will say, well, can I order my own appraisal, or can we just call an appraiser?
Well, we take care of the appraisal for you. We actually use a third party appraisal management company, an independent company that will schedule the appraisal for us and through the VA. It's a little bit different with VA with appraisals. So the lender takes care of ordering the appraisal. They're going to need all of those documents back from the builder before they can even, go out and make that appraisal and do the inspection. And they'll basically do the appraisal, what is called a subject to appraisal, and meaning that it's subject to the completion of the project. So they're going to give us a value on what the future value is with the land and the floor plans. So they're going to give us an idea of what it's going to be worth after it's already completed.
Yes, and once we get the appraisal back, we've got everything into place. Then we send you to our amazing team of underwriters for the loan approval. That process usually happens pretty fast and easy. As soon as you get the loan approval, then we are ready to start the construction process, right?
Yeah, we're usually closing in about 3 days once we have the clear to close on the appraisal and everything from underwriting.
Yeah, you want to talk about, so now that we've closed, the builder's ready to get their money. Usually at the closing table, we close on the land. So we're paying the sellers, or we're paying off if you already own the property and you have a loan on it, we're going to pay off that loan. So at the closing table, we're paying off the land, and then we're the realtor. If there's realtors involved, they're getting their commission checks at that point, and usually the builder gets their first draw. And it's a really cool process. Leslie, you want to talk real quick on how the builders request their draws?
Yeah, sure. We've got a great app that the builders actually will download where they can go in to make their draw requests. And they go right through the app throughout the entire construction process. And each stage, each draw, there's an independent third party inspection that is done. There's title work that is done. So after, when the builder goes and makes their request for the draw, you also do get to sign off on everyone. So you are assured to be also keeping track of the draws and knowing what's being completed. And also, the best part about this loan is that during that time period, you probably already know this, but you don't have to make any interest payments during construction. All of that interest has been rolled into the loan.
Yeah, that really is an amazing feature on this loan is if you get a typical construction loan, not only do you have to put a whole bunch of money down, you get some adjustable rate, and then you're making interest only payments throughout the construction process. So your first month, your interest only payment may only be 1,000, where your third month, that payment may be $3,000. And, and but this one-time closed construction loan, they basically take, we're estimating on the interest during the period of the construction, and we're rolling that into the closing costs. So your total cost, everything, your payments are already taken care of. You don't make any payments. You don't make the first payment on this new house until you get your certificate of occupancy and you're ready to move into this house. Then the following month is when you'll actually start your payment. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure. And one of the great things too, and one thing I think we forgot to touch on is a lot of people ask us as far as like, if I have a home that I'm wanting to sell,
Mhm.
um, there's oftentimes people aren't able to stay in their home during construction, especially for VA. And that's really on a case by case basis. So I won't say that's always the case, but it's something that we can chat about to see if you can stay in the home during the build. And oftentimes people about a month or two before their build is complete, they'll go and put their house on the market. One great thing that I do love about our program is that there are two different times in the process that you have the ability to bring money to what we call the closing or the modification. So you've got your closing in the beginning, modification at the end. Close in the beginning, you can bring cash to that close, or you can keep it till the end. Like if you sell your house and you have equity that you want to put into the mortgage, you can bring money to modification and also get that overall loan amount reduced so that your mortgage, when that mortgage does kick in, it's at a lower amount as well.
No, that's really awesome. Well, Leslie, I thank you so much for sharing your expertise today. And everyone that's watching, if you have any questions when you're ready to start the construction process or after watching this video and reading the frequently asked questions, if you have any additional questions to your specific scenario, reach out to us and we're always here to help. And we like to be a resource for you and help you make this happen smoothly.
Awesome. Sounds good.
Yep. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks.
Take care.